The element of time. We want to understand the effect of evolution in new media design. Use transitions to smooth jumps from one state to another. Use evolution to provide feedback to users, and use motion to convey information or enhance the viewer's experience. Evolution is the process of change taking place over time. It can be abrupt or gradual, and it exploits a sense of anticipation or surprise. A series of cells in this image here shows the evolution of an image over time. In this example, the presentation begins with the sparse composition, but changes as the small sprout grows into a large tree. In the first frame, the viewer will have a sense of anticipation and expect the empty area to become filled with something. The growing tree fulfills this expectation, but then surprises the viewer by growing beyond the boundaries of the picture frame. A part of what makes evolution successful in design is the use of anticipation and the unexpected. Attention is present and then is relieved through surprise. If the anticipation is fulfilled with nothing more than the expected, the presentation will become boring. Transition effects, or dissolves and fades, prevent the jarring effect of abrupt jumps from one evolutionary state to the next. Good examples of transitions can be seen in motion pictures when the harshness of a scene changes and is softened with a dissolve or fade, and these same sorts of effects can be used in new media presentations. This can be used for the entire screen or be limited to a single element. An example is what you see in the image here. Evolution is feedback. Changing an element allows the viewer to see that it is a control device. Several buttons from a control interface are shown in this image. Here, an effect that emulates a glowing light has been added to the activated button. This feedback lets the viewer know that the control is operational. When something moves, it changes over both time and space. One type of motion relates to an object or element moving in space. Motion can be thought of as a combination of time and space. When something moves, it not only changes over time through evolution, but also changes position in space like you see in the image here. The other type of motion that involves changing the scene to give illusion that the viewer is moving, and it requires the accurate use of perspective, is the point of view motion. 3 frames are used to illustrate point of view motion in this image. In each image, the positions of the other objects change in relation to the viewer. This simulation uses 3 elements to make all of the illusions more convincing. The first is accurate perspective. This is enhanced for the viewer by the grid markings on the racetrack. The second element is the presence of a ground plane. In the real world, we visually determine our vertical position by looking at the horizon. These images use a well-marked horizon to help viewers understand their orientation in the simulation. And the third element consists of the objects that remain fixed with the point of view. In these images, the objects are the dashboard and the button at the bottom of the screen, and the information displayed in the upper corners. No matter what happens in the simulation, these elements remain in the same position. They are always constant, so they provide visual reference to the other objects. Using the dramatic arc. By using this model, a designer can apply each of the different conceptual components of time to create a main point, mini-plot line for anything that might occur within a new media project. For example, an animation, no matter how brief, could follow a dramatic arc and tell a story to enhance the viewer's experience. In fact, even navigational feedback, as presented earlier, can be viewed with the Freytag's 5-point dramatic arc in mind. The introduction: the viewer sees the buttons and understands that they will allow for navigation to other pages. Rising action: the viewer moves the cursor towards the buttons, and as soon as the cursor hovers over a button, it changes colors and appears to glow. Climax: the viewer clicks the button as the pinnacle of action. Falling action: a pause follows the pinnacle and then a new page begins to load. Resolution: the viewer is taken to a new page. Motion and distraction: it's easy to overuse motion and animation in new media design. Use the enhancement test. Does the animation enhance the design by conveying information or emotional content, or does it distract? New media designers deal with the element of time as well as space. Evolutionary design allows for changes over both space and time. Transitions between one evolutionary state and another are important, and motion can be the motion of an object or the apparent motion of the viewer. Let me know if you have any questions.